How to Train Your Dragon is directed by Dean Dubois and is the remake of the original 2010 animated film. Hiccup is a Viking boy who finds a Night Fury and decides to take it upon himself to not only heal him but train him, and these two form an unbreakable bond. I really enjoyed the first How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. I thought all three films are really exciting, really fun, really emotional, and really powerful. And so when I heard that they're going to do a live action remake of them, I was scared. I was so worried that this is just going to be the Lion King 2019 remake, and that's just going to be the same movie but with live action and with very little change. So I just did not care to watch in theaters and just went to watch it in Peacock. And what did I get? What I thought I would get. I thought this film was not that great, guys. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, this remake is decent. This was actually a pretty good remake. But then when I heard that it is basically the same movie but in live action, but it captures the spirit of the original, it does capture the spirit a bit. And I think that's due to the fact that Dean Dubois is one of the directors, along with Chris Sanders, who did the original film. So I would assume that he would at least keep a lot of the same elements and spirit that made that original movie so good. Now, this movie isn't one of the worst movies I've ever seen. No, not by a landslide. I just thought it was very mediocre. But what I do really like about the film is the actor playing Hiccup, Mason Thames, I believe his name is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was in The Black Phone, and I really enjoyed his performance there. And he is a perfect choice as Hiccup. I have no problems with him in this role. He may be not as wimpy or naive as I hoped he would be as his character. Like, he feels like he's starting to grow into that How to Train Your Dragon 2 and 3 version of Hiccup a little bit, mainly 2. Like, he's starting to become an adult, but he still presents a lot of those same naiveties and that same childlike wonder that the original Hiccup had. Like, he still feels like a young kid still. He's just very much growing up older. I feel also like he's mixing both the older and younger version of Hiccup a little bit here. I think that made this character feel more like his own different version of Hiccup while retaining that same spirit of what made that character so interesting. And the visual effects of the film do look great. Like Toothless, a lot of the dragons, the Red Death, they all look fantastic. In fact, I think the Red Death does look a little better than he did in the original. Like, he felt a lot more terrifying, but I do think his design does lean well into live action. But some of the other dragon designs, while some of them do kind of look cool in live action, like the Red Snapper, I think some other, like the Gronkle and Toothless himself, in a kind of a weird way, leans a little better into animation. But the designs of the characters and the dragons themselves worked for the most part very well. It made these dragons blend into these environments pretty well, if you ask me. But what this film gets very wrong, in my opinion, is how it presents itself. The story is definitely a beat for beat remake of the original, and while it is nowhere near as egregiously bad as The Lion King, like, it is expressive and at least we could see actors in real sets, it just felt very hollow to me. I'm sorry, I really couldn't get into the film due to how similar in presentation and dialogue the film is to the original. Nothing felt surprising when I watched the not 2020, the 2005 remake of King Kong. That is still a remake that surprises me because there are plenty of differences and unique surprises that the film presents. And whatever is similar is directed and presented in a different light that retains that same spirit that the original King Kong had, while still having the new one feel like its own. I feel like a lot of remakes they need to use the 2005 King Kong remake as a template on how to remake a film, because yes, it follows a lot of the same beats, but it's not a beat for beat remake. It takes its time, it is paced differently, it is directed differently. This film just felt like it was directed in a similar way the original film was directed. It felt like it was paced the same way that the original film was paced. And I feel like you need to change up a lot of filmmaking techniques if you want to make this feel like a different experience. You can't just make something live action and expect that to be enough. Maybe for some people it obviously is, but for someone like me, you have to give a different side to the original that we have not seen before. Astrid also, I felt like was a character was very underutilized, but not just that. I just found the actress playing her to be kind of unlikable in the role. Like in real life, I'm pretty sure she's a nice girl, a nice actress, but in this film, she just plays Astrid with way too much hostility and bitterment. Like, I know Astrid is supposed to have a jealousy arc in the film, like in the original movie, but I felt like it was just amped up to 11 here, to the point where it just made her unlikable. Even before everything with Toothless happened, Astrid just did not really seem that likable of a character to me, and just blends in too well with the other bullies, to where in the original she just more apathetic to Hiccup and just doesn't really care for him in any way or form. Like, she doesn't not like him, but she doesn't care for him, not until he starts winning all these dragon battles. That's when she started to form that jealousy and resentment, to where it felt like from the very beginning of this new movie, she just did not like Hiccup at all, and I just felt like it cheapened their romance a lot, and it did not make me care for these two together as much as I hoped it would, you know? So overall, How to Train Your Dragon, the remake, not that great. Kind of as bad as I feared it will be. Overall, I would just recommend just watching the original over the remake. It is better directed, it is better paced, the acting is a lot better, the story is a lot more engaging, it's a lot tighter. Overall, I would just skip this remake. It's just an inferior version as to what came before. And so for that, I'm going to give the How to Train Your Dragon remake a C-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.